Alrighty. Let's see. Microphone check. Are we good? Are we live? Hello and welcome everyone to a very interesting stream. A very, very fascinating stream where we will be talking about all the tech, all the skills, all the tricks. Basically a master course in Mario Strikers Battle League technology, techniques, movement abilities, the whole shebang. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, Dino, what's up, man? Howdy. Now, this will be hashtag Toad only. Good vibes, yes indeed. We are going to be playing against the bots for now, just to demonstrate what we can, but we'll see when we get there if we play online, whatever the case might be. For right now, I just want to focus on the essentials, things that we could learn, things that I could show you. Like, a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff in this game, which I think you guys are going to really enjoy. So anyway, I just want to quickly clarify. This is obviously a live stream. JKL, taking notes, boys. Like, I'm reading this live. So, I might come back, and please consider that there's a good chance I'm going to come back. I'm not going to say good chance. There is a chance. I'm a very lazy individual. But there is a chance that I'm going to come back and edit this and eventually re-upload this to the YouTube channel once we get a general idea, like once I, do all that. Will this be a video? Yes, that's effectively what I'm talking about right now. It might be a video. If the stream comes, that's how I'm going to let you in on a little secret, a little like a content creator cutting edge floor thing that no one really talks about much. You will never hear anything else. Like, you will never hear any other content creator talk about this. So this is like cutting floor stuff here. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. If the take is not good, it does not turn into a video. It's really that simple. If I do a live stream and I'm like stuttering all over the place, and when I go back to edit it, my audio is messed up, or you just can't edit anything into like a cohesive narrative, then yeah, it doesn't turn into a video. And I'm gonna be doing my best to try to make it so that it is easy to turn into a video later on, but there's no guarantees. That's how these things go. So we'll see. But yeah, I am shooting to turn this into a video because I think that there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to like discuss about. Just a lot of cool things to consider. Also, I'm not sure if any of you guys have been keeping up with the media when it comes to Mario Strikers Battle League as a whole. But I heard that there's a lot of people who are incredibly disappointed in the game. So I just want to quickly talk about that real quick before we get started. Like, on Twitter, a lot of people were like kind of beating on the game. And I want to know your opinions. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I have my own opinions about the game. But I just want to, like, spoiler alert. My opinions do not align with 99% of the people who are playing the game. Yeah. Which is the best? Wii, GCN, or Switch? I've never played any of them. I think competitively, the Switch is the best. But I think overall, universally, Mario Strikers Charged, the one for the Wii, is considered the best. Yeah. Overall, Charged is the best out of the three. Competitively speaking, I think the newest one, Battle League, is really good. That's my opinion. I can't really form an opinion considering that this is my first Strikers game. Gotcha, okay. That's fair. I think it's great. Alright. Battle League certainly could have been better than how it released. Oh, for sure. The game is lacking. I don't disagree with that. There's a big reason whenever someone comes up to me and they're asking me, like, should I buy the game? Should I get the game? The very first thing I tell them, it depends on who you are. As a competitive player, as someone who plans to play this game at a competitive level, like, I signed up to a 2v2 tournament the other day. I plan to play this game competitively, and because of that, it makes sense for me to get familiar with the game before, like, it blows up, or if it ever blows up. It makes sense for me to practice at the start to give myself no disadvantages. So if you're a competitive player, get on it. Buy the game. It's mechanically a really sound game. But I would say if you're more of a casual, if you are trying to get this as just another Nintendo experience, don't buy the game. It's not worth it. To a casual, this game is no more than... This game should not be more than $30. Half the price. Yeah. If you're a competitive player, it's worth every penny. If you're a casual player, I'd say wait. Wait until they release more stuff, or if they ever release stuff, then don't... If they just don't, then don't buy it, right? I do understand that the complaints, there is not enough content in this game for this price, but I really do enjoy it, so yeah. Got it. I think that's the general consensus. That's like a level-headed opinion. Yep. What if you're a collector? I'd still say wait. Wait. Even as a collector, it's not worth picking up like right away. It's not, unless you need that satisfaction to have every game in the collection like as soon as they come out. Or you might forget about it, then yeah, sure. Yep. I think it's worth 40. No. No, it's a $30 game as of right now. It's a $30 game. And that's whether you believe in inflation or not, right? Regardless of what you believe in, it's a $30 game. Not a penny more. I'm willing to pay double the price to get that like tactical advantage. I'm willing to pay $30 for that tactical advantage to get into the game early. MSBL boot camp pause, chap. Imagine. Oh, if it was priced 30, yeah, everyone should pick it up. I would have no hesitation if it was $30 to tell everyone to go get it. If it was $40, I'd be a little bit more, you know. That makes me think. I played all of them, but played the hell out of Charge. By the way, I do cuss. I don't like drop F-bombs. I just want to say that I'm not an active cusser, but I do say things like heck, hell, damn, things like that. So just calm down. YouTube, please. I even made it to a decently high rank. I can't help but comparing to Charged and miss the Conforms, but I understand that it takes time. This game does have Conforms. A lot of people don't actually know that. We'll get to that in a second. There are a few Conforms that you could do, but it takes a lot of practice. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. Yep. Hello, Kinun. Hi, hello. If you say hello, I'm going to try to say hello back, but no guarantees. MSBL or SSBM, what's more competitive? SSBM, that's not even a question. No, SSBM is way more competitive. SMBL is more in the lines of like, it's competitive or in the realm of like a 2v2 game, not a one-on-one game. Yeah. My issue, oh hey Blackbeard, what's up man? My issue with the game is that it's not a service-based game with below, it's a service-based game with below average online, yeah. 4v4, yep, the lag every 5 games is also unacceptable. Yep, it's pretty rough. 80 plus tax equals 90. Someone's good at doing math. Hold up. Yeah, service-based games, they should be... Like, the reason why I consider it an investment, because even if the game eventually turns out to be horrible, like, that's an investment I'm worth making, because I already made back the money I did playing the game. I probably... that should be pretty obvious, right? Doing YouTube, making content for the game, I've made back well more than $60. Right? Well more than that. So to me, it was definitely worth an investment. And I also plan to play it competitively. So to me, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Right? To pick up the game. But I also... A big reason why I invested into getting into Strikers Battle League is because it's fundamentally sound. It has all it takes. Like, the game itself is fundamentally, like, good. The core is good. The problem is it doesn't have enough of it. It just needs more. It doesn't need changes. It doesn't really need fixes. It just needs more. So anyway, we'll get to that we'll get to all of that in a second. Unless you guys want to continue talking, I'm down to just chat for a bit. And we'll get to the technical stuff later. Should Hyper Strikes be on? I think no, because the ball can still get to if you mash correctly. I think that the only change, like competitive change that's going to happen is Hyper Strikes are going to be turned off. Also, I just realized my camcorder is not plugged in. Let me plug that in. I forgot to do that. Second. So I was adjusting some of my cabling. I was just adjusting some of the cables underneath my desk, you know, cable management and whatnot. And I accidentally unplugged my camcorder, which is what I'm using as a camera. And I forgot to plug it back in. Alright. That way my camera doesn't randomly just shut off, you know? Alright. Are you in any club? And if so, which one? I'm having a hard time choosing. I'm in my own club, so if you are interested in playing along with me, you could go ahead and join that as well. Alright. The game seems so damn chaotic. Hard to create openings without items. AI characters stick to each other like glue. Yeah, I agree with all of those points. After coming from Mario Strikers Charged, where everyone's so tiny relative to the map, yeah, you definitely get that feeling, but it's something that can be practiced out of, if that makes sense. The MSBL Discord has Hyper Strikes on and Gear off for some reason in ranked. Turns me off from it. That's interesting. I think Hyper Strikes should be off, and I think Gear should be on. I feel like that's just... I don't know. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Alright, let's get started. Let us get started. Let's start talking about some of the more technical things. So today, we just had the discussion talking about the more surface level stuff. I don't want to say surface level, that might piss some people off. I don't know what to call it. The oh, words are escaping me right now. The more general terms, the more PR-esque stuff. And overall, what you think of the game, right? And now let's kind of switch the gear conversation to a little bit more about what makes the game good and what you could practice and how you get better at it. Alright. So we have gear off until the first regional. There's probably a reason for it. That makes sense. Okay. Time to get into the game and compete without having to grind the cups. I mean, you could grind the cup in like an hour. Not an hour. You could grind it in like one sitting. Like I did it. It's not terribly difficult. Alright, let me grab my controller real quick. Once the first regional is done, and we will turn gear back on. Gotcha. Alright! Will Hypers be off? I hope so. I think Hyper Strikes, they're fun, and they do add a level of chaos, but they're not necessarily mandatory in my opinion. Not at all. I could see a competitive world where both Hyper Strikes is on and Hyper Strikes is off. I completely agree with both. Yo, Ark has a piano. Yes, I do play. I do play the piano. I played piano for the last 15 years. Yeah. Basically my entire life I've always been playing a piano. Always played the piano. Alright. Let us start by talking about the mechanics in the game. So let me just quickly create a list. That way I'm not like just rambling. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about... Let's see how it plays out at the higher level. Alright. Alright. So there's these two. We're going to be covering 3 major topics. Just quickly run these off. I know Cobra said he wanted to turn off items too. I disagree with the items part. Like, I think games require that level of sandbagging. Like, it's not... Trust me. If you want to see bad sandbagging, watch how CSGO, like, they changed the meta to have, like, a negative loss bonus. Compound. That was busted. That was whack. Like, if you're gonna talk about items being busted, you should talk about that first. Alright. Also, I just realized I'm on top chat. I need to change that to live chat. Let me change that real quick. Yeah. No, you need items. Items is an integral part of the game, unfortunately. It's required to do stuff. We'll get to that in a second. So we'll do this, and... By the way, feel free to ask me anything while I'm doing this. I'm just quickly kind of generalizing my thoughts. Yeah, allows item tackle, like tackle spam, yeah. Like, tackle spam is already a pretty big deal. I don't want to live in a world where you just, like, benefit by being tackle spam heavy. Alrighty. I think I have everything. LOL says, random question, but how did you come up with the name Arc Intel? So funny story, my original username like 3-4 years ago was actually Purple. I went by the name Purple, PRPL, like 4 words, that way you could fit it on a Melee tag. Because I used to play Melee, I used to be a Melee player. And I ran with the name Purple, I thought it was a bit immature. So I changed it to something that I wanted to change my name into something that, you know, was a little bit more professional. It's something that I wouldn't be ashamed of having my name well into like when I'm 30, 40 years old. So I just went with the simple name Arc. And then my YouTube channel was called The Intelligence. Or The Intel. Because it's kind of like a database where I just dump everything. You know? It was Arc's Intel, Arc's database, Arc's YouTube channel, right? And then that kind of got smushed together into one word, which became Arc Intel. And that's, you know, that's what it is today. Hi, what do you think about Peach? I think Peach is the best character in the game. Don't at me. You think 4v4 will properly be implemented? I have no clue. I have no clue. They said that it would, but we don't know. Ashcon, a UFC match with a soccer ball somewhere. MSBL no items, effectively, yes. Can you use Mii's in this game? No, you cannot. And thank God you cannot. That would be weird. Alright. Do you guys have any more questions? Anything else we want to talk about before we get started? I have the notes now. I think I have a general idea of what I want to talk about. King of Kings. I love that name. I'm gonna say it. King of Kings. Cock. Hey, Ark. You have any plans of streaming online matches? Yes, I do. I actually plan to stream, It's not only I plan, I do stream on my Twitch channel. So, like, a little bit more casual stuff that I just, like, have no real direction. I'm just kind of playing games. I tend to do that on Twitch. And on YouTube, I tend to do a little bit more focused content. Things that I have topics on, things that I have discussions, things that I could talk about. Things that I have a clear direction of what the heck I'm doing. That I do on YouTube. First word I hear from you today is... That's his name! KOK! What am I supposed to... King of Kings. I didn't say that. How do you feel about Daisy not being in the game? She'll get added to the game. I'm pretty sure. Like, there's a 99% chance, right? She gets into the game. There's a 99% chance, right? At least a few characters get in the game. I'm not concerned. Opinions on DK. He's the best tank defender. He's the big... In my opinion, he's the best heavyweight in the game. Alright. I would have been playing as Peter Griffin and Matt in the game if the Mii's were allowed. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna level with you. I've been around Twitch for so long. I know that. Yeah, I swallow comp. Yeah, very nice. Very mature. Hey, what's up, bud? How's it going? Daisy is probably the first character they add. What's your preferred lineup at the moment? I run Peach, Rosalina. I'm thinking once I get Luigi tuned up, I'm gonna tune up a Luigi. And I'm gonna play either Donkey Kong or Waluigi or Toad. Because I have a tuned Toad. So my Toad is tuned, then I need to tune Luigi. I'm gonna probably run him as Wing. I need to get Luigi up to Wing, for sure. Why do you consider Peach as the best character in the game? I want to play her. Movement. The movement in this game, you have to master. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Movement in this game is very, very important. If you don't have good movement, you're gonna struggle. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how to get good movement and how to practice good movement and all of that. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, my lineup, well, if Daisy gets added, is probably gonna be a pure defense team, like a pure female team. I'm just gonna run every female. So I'm gonna run Rosa, Peach, Daisy, and then I'm gonna have a random. Probably Luigi, I'm gonna be honest. Luigi is looking, either Luigi or Mario. They're looking really solid. Simp team, imagine, yes. It's unfortunate. I wanted to play Rosa. Because Rosa is legitimately like my favorite character out of the cast. And it just turned out that Peach, you kind of have to run a Peach, right? And if Daisy gets added, she'll fill the role for Waluigi. So she'd replace my Toad. Because I prefer having thinner characters. Yeah. I mean, in a game like this, I just like having thin characters. Thin characters are amazing. I really enjoy playing thin characters. I'm not being fat-phobic, okay? Don't take that out of context. I'm talking about in the game, okay? Some characters like big characters. Some people like bigger characters. I'm a definitely someone who prefers smaller characters. What about Waluigi? Everyone's been saying he's top tier. Yeah. The only way I don't run Waluigi, not because he's not good. He's like exceptionally good. I just prefer not running Waluigi. I'm not a fan of Waluigi personally. I know people are. You know, everyone is. You know, I'm personally not a fan. He is good though. He is definitely top tier. Best sweeper defender. Yeah, he's the best defender in the game as of right now. I keep moving, so I'm never in like the center of the screen, so I have to like constantly adjust my camera. Cancelled. Unlucky. Ark just prefers. Whoa. Slow down. Stop putting words in my mouth. I want King Boo in the game. I would love to have Boo in the game. But I think Daisy comes first. I think Shy Guy comes first. You know, I think there are characters that come first for sure. Alrighty. Let's get started with that. Now that we got all that out of the way. Let's start talking about the game. Let's get going. Let's get moving. So, first up, I just want to quickly say that if you... This is gonna sound super weird. Okay, just follow with me for a second. Yeah, Hammer Bro. I think Hammer Bro should be added to the game too. Okay, this is going to sound super weird, but if anyone subscribes and you have like public subscriptions on, let me know. I'm testing an alert and I haven't seen it work yet, so I want to make sure that it's working. So if you have a sub and you aren't subbed and you are watching the stream and you have public stream notifications thing, like please let me test the sub. I want to make sure it works. I've been testing around and messing around with some alerts. I mean, basically what Camo said. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Alright, let's get started. Let's get moving. We've got a few topics to cover today. We're going to be covering 3 major topics, and we'll kind of like briefly touch up on some unless you guys have more specific questions, and we'll go from there. Sub as in pay money or sub as in the free subscription? Sub as in subbing to a channel, so the free one, yeah. When you subscribe to someone for the notifications there. I subbed with notifications. I don't see anything. So it's possible you don't have like the public like notification, like I publicly subscribe to this guy, and I think that's a requirement to make this alert show up. I'm not sure. Not sure. All right, that's enough stalling. Let's do it. Let's do it. Whoa, that is my desktop. Give me a second. Alrighty. Do I hear anything? Capture that. Alrighty. I actually love having... And this might definitely be a minority thing. This is definitely something that Nintendo people don't understand. And so let me just quickly explain this to you real quick. As someone who comes from a lot of FPS games, a lot of like standard AAA games, we don't play with music. I'm not a music guy, okay? So I turn off, I know you guys are going to hate me because the music in this game is amazing and all of that fun stuff. I don't play with music. I personally turn music off. I keep all the sound effects on, I keep all the character voice lines on, that way I could hear what's going on in the game. But I do not keep music on. So just keep that in mind, okay? If you don't hear music, that's because I turned it off. And that's one thing I always loved about these games, is because they allow you to effectively tune all the audio stuff. So you could make the voice clips louder, you can make the sound effects louder, you can make the music quieter. That's one of the things I really like about Mario Strikers, like what next level games do. Really nice. So anyway, today we are going to be talking, and I will be bouncing between chat. Like, this is not just going to be me ranting throughout like a bunch of topics. I'm going to be trying to keep you guys included. I'm going to talk to you guys. If you have questions, I'll be reading them. Hank, the handsomest hunk. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? So if you're looking for a tip-by-tip guide, I might edit this up to be that, or I might just make a brand new like tutorials list and whatnot. Yeah. So today is mainly talking to you guys, the chat, the viewers. You guys are the priority right now. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to say anything, if you guys have anything to point out, let me know. So we've got 3. I'll say 4. I always do this. I have 3 points, but I'm going to say 4, just in case if I remember something that I want to talk about. We're going to be covering 4 topics today. We're going to be covering techniques, so the actual mechanics of the game. We are going to be covering movement, right? You're going to be covering movement, so things like oop options, shuttle cancels, empty shuttles, like how to do flip-ups. We're going to be covering all of that in the movement section, which is going to get fun. And then we're going to talk about strats and strategy, which is going to be how to move, how to properly manipulate your CPUs, what you're doing, priorities, places that you should be aiming on the field. And then I'm going to put the fourth one as miscellaneous. We're going to talk about some miscellaneous stuff as well. I don't have anything in the miscellaneous, but I'm sure something will come up as I continue streaming, because that's how these things go. First things first, I just want to make sure, do I sound okay? Can you hear me clearly? Am I like muttering? Am I good? I have an AC on, so I have like some noise suppression stuff on. So I just want to make sure everyone could hear. Hey, the sub worked. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. If it went off, that's amazing. Good stuff. Yeah, I've been messing around with that, so you guys get to see all the subs and notifications in all their glory. Yeah? Okay, cool. Cool. Let's get started. First things first, I think we should talk about the techniques. I feel like that should be a great starting place to talk about. So the techniques in this game, we're going to talk about general movement, so nothing advanced. We're going to talk about general movement, how it changed, and how to take advantage of the mechanics in this game. So the very first thing that you need to understand when it comes to mechanics in the game is this game is a lot more like SMS, Super Mario Strikers, the one for the GameCube, and a very different departure to Mario Strikers Charged. Why isn't it alerting that I subbed? Rip. You might not have public subs on. If you do not have a public sub on, then it won't show up. So that's something to consider as well. Alright. So, let me just show you a little bit about what was adopted from SMS, what was adopted from MSC, and what this game has completely brand new. Because there is a lot of new things that they added. Enough of me rambling about it. Let's talk a little bit about it. So the very first thing that you need to know is what carried over from SMS. SMS, what carried over is basically the entire idea of tack shots, the entire idea of rebound shots, the entire idea of setups. Simple point and click setups. That all comes from SMS. So for those of you guys who are wondering, a tack shot, let me pull back off here, is the technical term for a shot that requires you to have the ball on one side. So notice how the goalie is always focused on where the ball is. So he's at the bottom of the goalpost, right? And then when I pass it up to Bowser, now he's paying attention to Bowser because he has the ball and he's on the top. So all a tack shot is, and by the way, this is not guaranteed. The tack shots are not 100%. All a tack shot is you start by keeping the critter, or in this case, boom's attention at one end of the screen, passing it up, and shooting it in. That is the scientific term of a tack shot. Now in this game, tack shots are done like not as conforms, like not as strong as they were in the previous games. Goalie do be good staring, yeah. There you go. Inside of the previous game, tack shots were about a 90% chance in this game. This game, tack shots are just another style of how to set someone up. So a character like Bowser, who has low technique but high shooting, you tend to be doing a lot of tack shots and a lot of rebound shots. That's the main style of how Bowser is played. So that's a tack shot. When you shoot up to someone, you pass across, you make the goalie move to the other side of the field, and then you basically kick it around him. So it's a 1-2, buckle my shoe kind of thing. A rebound shot is different, so let's get the terminology correct. When you hit the goalie, and you knock it down, and it bounces off the goalie, and then you shoot it back, that is called a rebound shot. This game, tack shots and rebound shots are two of the most important concepts to be aware of. They're very important in the game. You need to be good at doing rebound shots, you need to be good at doing tack shots. Alright. Now this comes from all the previous other games, SMS and MSC. They both have tack shots, they both have rebound shots. Next, let's talk a little bit about what makes rebound shots go in. So, obviously, power in this game is how quickly the ball travels. But what does that mean? How quickly the ball travels? Well, When you have a fast traveling ball, obviously the ball physically moves faster, but does that do anything in the game? And the short answer to that is not much. Yes, but not much. So depending on, I'm gonna quiz you guys here. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. What will matter more? What matters more to getting a critical hit? Which a critical hit is when you hit the goalie and he gets knocked over. So a critical hit would look like that was not a critical hit. Let's see if I could try this again. I got one earlier. Like that. So you notice how the goalie gets knocked over. That's called the critical hit. What determines the critical hit more? The shooting stat or where you are placed position-wise on the field? I'm going to leave that question to you guys and see what you guys come up with. What matters more? Really, honestly, stop and think about this. Do you want a low shooting character close to the goalie or a high shooting character far away from the goalie? What matters more? A combo of both. Yes, but I'm saying which one's more important? Which one's more important? Getting close and shooting or having power and shooting farther back? What matters more? There you go, the subscribe. Let me make that a little bigger. It's easier to say. There we go. You guys are all saying both. I like the way you guys are thinking. Okay, so you guys are thinking critically. Yes, it is a combination of both. That is correct. But if you had to take one, a low shooting character or a higher shooting position? Basically a high shooting character or a low shooting character? Which one would you take? Getting close, both, close, I would say close, shooting, close. Okay, whoever said close, you guys are correct, by the way. Close is what the strength of the ball determines the speed of the ball, which are things for tack shots. So when you're doing a tack shot, let me explain this again. Remember what tack shot was. A tack shot, and by the way, competitive MSC players are gonna roll in their graves, and they're not even dead yet. Because inside of Mario Strikers Charged, tack shots is actually a legitimate technique that has a specific setup. It's a setup. In this game, I just call it a tack shot because it's the same idea. It's not actually a setup, per se. But anyway, so a tack shot, when you're doing a tack shot like this, passing speed, which is when you pass the ball, and shooting speed matters a lot. That matters more than anything when you're trying to do a tack shot. However, if you are trying to get a critical, so a rebound, the closer you are, the more likely you are to get a critical hit. So you want to get closer. So yes, the most important thing if you're trying to get a rebound is to get close. Ideally on the 44-yard line, which is this line right here. You want to get close. The closer you are, as long as you're not right up against Boom Boom, the closer you are, the more likely you are to get a critical hit. So this is important depending on the style of play that you have, right? So if you're going for a rebound shot, you want to get close. Right? You want to be really close if you want to get a rebound shot. And if you're going for a tack shot, well then it matters more to make sure that the guy who's shooting, like Bowser in this case, is a power type. You want to make sure that Bowser is a power type when trying to get a tack shot. Alright. Very good, very good. Let me quickly catch my breath in a sec. And we'll move on to the next topic. So does everything make sense so far, right? This is why whenever someone comes up to me and asks me, what is the best character in the game? How do you build a character? And what gear should I be running for a specific character? It completely depends. Are you a tack shot player? Are you a half-court shot player? Are you a mid-court shot player? Are you trying to get close and score? It completely depends on the style of play that you're trying to do. So if you are a speed character, for instance, let's run Peach over here for a second. Where Peach, because she's so quick and so thin and she could weave in and out, she could get stupid close to the goalie. So in this case, half the time you're going to be going for rebound shots. Or, well, we're going to get to that in a second, or you're going to shoot from a pressure point. We'll talk about pressure points in a bit. Alright. If you're close enough, do you need to charge the shot? Again, completely depends on what you're trying to do. We'll get to that in a second. Bottom line, unless you are going specifically for a tack shot, positioning matters a lot. Positioning matters a whole heck of a lot. Let's change gears for a bit. Let's talk a little bit less about strategy, and let's talk a little bit more about movement, because I think that's what you guys are interested in here for. Okay, So the very first thing I want to talk to you guys about in the movement department, this is something that you have to be very comfortable with in the movement department, is something called an oop and something called a shuttle. These are like the two core fundamentals. Inside, if any of you guys have played Melee, wave dashing and dash dancing. That's the wave dashing and dash dancing of this game. It's called an oop option and an empty shuttle. I guess an oop option would be a lot more like a shuffle in Melee instead of like a wave dash. So a shuttle is like a wave dash, and an oop is like a shuffle, if that makes sense. Any Melee players, if any of you guys have played Melee or are familiar with Melee at a competitive level, or even like at a semi-competitive level, I hope that makes sense. But to all of you guys who don't worry about it. I'll explain it in a bit. Need more water. Actually, how many of you guys have played Melee? I have a legitimate question. Caden, MKWee, Sag. Yeah, no. I'm not asking MKWee here. I'm not asking MKWee, I'm asking Melee. Curious how many of you guys have played Melee. I know what you mean, gotcha. Yeah, so let's first cover what are these? What is this oop option? What is a shuttle? Play Project Plus, not Melee. Oh, okay, so yeah, it's a similar idea with Project Plus, yes. Alright. So the first thing, let's talk about the more useful and practical one of the two, which is the oop. Also known as the out of punt option. So it's an oopo, actually, technically. I just call it an oop because it sounds funny. So an oop is when you're in control of the ball. As many of you guys know, when you press the sprint button, you kind of kick the ball a little bit in front of you. Right? Like that. And when you don't do anything, and you just kick the ball, the character will automatically magnetize and continue running toward the ball. Like that. Like, I'm not doing anything here. So all I do is click the button. And she will automatically run toward the ball. Now, in order to break that line of sight, that magnetism, if you will, in order to break it so Peach doesn't automatically go to the ball, there's a few things that we can do. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, there's only one, but we'll get to that in a second. The first thing that you could do to break that line of sight, and the only thing that you could do to break that line of sight, is doing a tackle. When you do a tackle, after you do an oop, you kind of give up the ball, like that. So you completely lose the ball. This is, by the way, the easiest way to lose the ball. If you're trying to like do tutorials or something, anyone is interested in that, and you just need to drop the ball, that's how you do it. You just run, you tackle. She'll give up the ball. Alright? So that's one option. You might see where I'm going with this. And that's why it's called oop options. Because there's many options that you could do outside of a punt. So you could tackle, but you could also charge a tackle. And if you do a perfect charge tackle, you will slide back into the ball. Like that. So this is the second option, which is when you charge up the tackle. Or, completely charge a tackle. Like that. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure this is the fastest way to move with the ball. Don't quote me on that. That's probably going to require a little bit more testing. But I'm pretty sure that's the fastest way to move. Just get from one point A to point B. Now, the next thing you could do is the more obvious option. The next oop option is when you just sprint back into the ball. So if you hold down the trigger, right, you're going to sprint into the ball. That's another option that you could do. And of course, you can also deke into your own ball. So if you punt, deke, punt. Right? There's a tech with Toad and a mushroom. Oh, is there? Okay, that I'm new. You're gonna have to show me that. Don't know what that is about. And here's where things get complicated. We'll talk about the super. This is like level 1 complicated. There's level 2 complicated. Once we get to a shuttle, we'll get to the level 2 stuff. So, by incorporating a bunch of those oop options in series, you could do a lot of cool things. So, for instance, you could do an oop into a slide tackle, into an oop tackle deke. So let me see if I could demonstrate that for you. I just realized I can't be at the bottom left because my webcam's there. I'm gonna see if I can get this down. Get that practice down. By the way, whenever I boot into a practice round before I like play online, this is what I'm practicing. I'm just practicing basic loop options. Oh, I'm getting stuck with this Yoshi. Hold on. Just doing the roll. I'm not doing the tackle. So you could like string them all together into more deke options, roll, and then tackle. It's kind of confusing because the tackle and the slide tackle is the same button, so in my brain I'm still trying to figure out how to like link all that together. But there is the basic movement, like the movement aspect of that. Also, one more thing: if you are going to deke into the ball, make sure you wait, because if you deke immediately, you could also, that's another way to give up the ball, like that. So if you're gonna roll back into the ball, make sure that you give it a second, like that. It's basically an option select, yes. And I'm sure some of you guys might be wondering at this point now, okay, that looks cool and all, like crazy movement and whatnot. What is the application for this? And I'm gonna be honest, there isn't much for some of these options until you add the second component. The second component is what's known as a shuttle. Now I need to slow down. There's a reason I'm chugging like a crap ton of water. Alright, I want to get this oop option down. I set it, and now I want to do it. So it's a slide tackle. Oh, hold on. Into another oop tackle. Yeah, okay. Like that. Oop. Messed up the second option. Yeah, I can't do it. My head hurts too much from doing that. There's too many options. It's only a few options, but you use the same button in certain sequences. That you gotta like double or triple tap the same button. It's kind of weird. Yep. So what was I talking about now? Let's move on to the more complicated aspect of it. Let's talk about the shuttle. Now I have to say, the shuttle was not invented by me. This is one of the few tech that I did not find on my own. This was found by a guy named... Ooh, I don't remember his name. I'm gonna... If it comes back to me, I'll be sure to shout him out. I think his name is Vision or something. Single Vision. It's like one of those one-word adjectives. Oh, man, what's his name? Yeah. Man, I don't remember his name. It was on Twitter. Yeah. Okay, so basically, just keep in mind, this tech was not found out by me. I did perfect it, but I was not the one who originally found it. So how you do a shuttle? Let me explain to you guys what this is. So when you turn around, when you have a ball, like that, you'll notice that Peach does this slide animation, right? Now, as you probably could have guessed, if you move a direction and snap the control stick while pressing the oop option, so the dash button, in the opposite direction, you will do a snap, like that. That is a shuttle, effectively. So that's messed up. That's messed up. There you go, got one. Oh, I need to practice this. It's a very, very quick motion. Man, I am so bad at this right now. There you go. It's easier to do, believe it or not, with a Joy-Con. Because the Joy-Con, the travel distance is different. My controller, the Pro Controller, has a snapback issue. So, like, you'll notice when I just hold one direction, it'll automatically turn around, even though I didn't do anything. That's called snapback. And unfortunately, there's not much I could do about that, so it makes the timing a little bit more precise. So you really need to, like, deliberately hit the control stick. Or else that happens. There you go, got it. You should be, like, there's a time, once I get warmed up, I should be able to do it pretty consistently. But that is the shuttle. So basically, it cancels the movement option. It cancels the turnaround. And what I ended up doing, this is also a cool little thing. You could do what's known as an empty shuttle. Are we gonna need snapback capacitors? I sure hope not. That'd be whack. Now you could do a shuttle like that. Okay, I'm getting it now. I don't think you need it because you're supposed to be flicking the opposite direction anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I actually almost did it there. So what I realized is if you release the control stick as soon as you do the snapback, so it's another input. So you snap back and you release the thumbstick immediately. So a really quick bat, and then neutral step. So snap, snap, neutral, like that. You will do what's known as an empty shuttle, like that. And an empty shuttle, as the name suggests, it's a shuttle, but when you're done, you give up the ball completely. It is a very weird piece of tech. Hold up, let me see if I can get it again. It is a very obscure piece of tech. I don't think a single person understands why it works, but it does. So this is called... Oop, there you go. I did an empty shuttle and then immediately deked off. There you go. Called an empty shuttle. Now this is practical if you want to do like really cool advanced movement stuff. So if you want to do flip-ups and roll-ups, we'll get to that in a second. But mostly this is done in a style points kind of way. This is more of a style trick, or again, if you're trying to put the ball in a very specific position. And I am really bad at it right now. Like that. So if you're trying to drop the ball off at a very specific spot, then you could do so. Alright. So I want to make sure that everyone's following. I'm not leaving anyone behind. So let's just quickly review what we already understood. So the shuttle is when you... Oop. God, my snapback to my right is awful. I'll get it one of these days. I think it's actually easier for me to go to the right. There you go. So when you get a... That's a shuttle. When you basically cancel the turnaround animation and you immediately move the opposite direction. This is good for like baiting out people without actually deking. So you save the deke for another option. And then you could also do an empty shuttle, like that. I'm actually finding it easier to do an empty shuttle than an actual shuttle. There you go. So now I'm going to do... we now need to incorporate that all into the OOP option. So let's talk a little bit about the OOP option. This is something that I was practicing the other day. I was practicing doing... Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. What to do? Let me see. Alright. So I wanted to... What I was practicing last night was something called a short shuttle. So you know how to do a shuttle, right? Now, you may not know how to do it exactly, but you understand the movements, the inputs of it. So now what I've been practicing the other night was what's known as an empty shuttle, which is basically a shuttle, except that you are going to snap back the opposite direction, so it's an extra snap in both ways. Like that. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is. You basically turn around and then do a snap in the... And I'm not getting it. There you go. I mean, you could kind of see what it's doing. So this, look at the length distance when you do a shuttle. Look at how far Peach has to run. When you do a short shuttle, the ball is pretty much right in front of you. But it still gives you options to a few out of punt options. So you could do a few oop stuff when doing a short shuttle. Like that. Now, if you short shuttle properly, you could also do what's known as a flick up. This is more of a stylistic thing as well. Anytime you give up the ball, you're doing some kind of trick. So what I've been practicing last night was a short shuttle flick up and then into a score, which looks kind of like this. Like that. It's completely style points, but it looks so cool when you get it right. So basically all you're doing is you're doing a short shuttle, and then when you tackle into the ball at the right time, the ball will do a flick up. This is only possible with a few characters. Peach could do it, and Waluigi can do it. As far as I'm aware, no other character could do it because of the way that their tackle looks. You also gotta hit the ball. Oh, I'm so bad at this right now. Got it. Right. Complete style points, but it is really, really cool. And I'm sure one of these days we're actually going to find a practical use to do a give up option, so either an empty shuttle or a flip up. But as of right now, flip ups are purely done in a stylistic way. Delta Ray Studios, afternoon all, hello. Hello. I hope you guys are learning stuff for the Mario Strikers movement, tech, all that fun stuff. Hold on, I want to get one now. I know this is not part of the technique, but basically, there should be a way for me to get it, like, immediately. There you go. It's so nice when you get it. Oh, that would've been so sick! That was a really good flick up, too. That was a really, really good flick up. Bruh. Okay, I did an actual shuttle, my bad. I want to get one. Hold up. My god. I could either get the flick up or I could get hit. I can't do both. Alright. So now what does this apply to, like, how do we merge a shuttle and an oop together? And this is where things get a little bit complicated because you could short shuttle, which is this, and you could also shuttle, like, oop against a wall, which opens up a lot of opportunities. Could it just fake people out? Well, normally half the time people are trying to tackle you, so you could kind of use it to, like, break an ankle, I guess, but I don't know if that's practical or not. I'm not sure. Oh! Okay, I'm getting better at this. It's a lot of practice. Definitely a lot of practice. Oh my gosh. That's so nice. Ah, I can't shoot on the right side. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on. So, let's talk a little bit more about merging the oop and the shuttle together. So I already showed you how to do a short shuttle, which is done by turning around real quick before you actually do the shuttle, which makes it really short. But you could also oop against the wall. And when you oop against the wall, the character will automatically deke into the wall if you press the deke button. So she'll actually deke past the ball. So it's important when you deke, bounce the wall, like bounce it against the wall, a few weird properties change. Like for instance, you can see there, the ball kind of just dribble. Oh, I'm actually covering. Hold on, let me show you. It will just rub up against the wall. So if you're trying to send the ball up for whatever the reason. Hold on. Ah, okay, now it's just going right through me. Like that. It has weird properties against the wall. So if you are going to do an oop against the wall, make sure you do not deke. Because if you deke... Oh, I got lucky there. Most of the time, you're going to flick the ball. Because Peach will automatically magnetize deking directly into the ball, which is at a corner and now bounced against the wall. So in situations like this, half the time you're going to be doing manual L chips, like that. When you're trying to dribble it against the wall, this is actually a good practice I'd recommend a lot of people do, just to get the movement down. See if you could get the dribble the ball across the wall like that. Gives you a good idea of how to manually shoot the ball. Like that. So you get the angle down, you try to dribble. Inside of Mario Strikers Charge, there was a lot more practicality to dribbling because you actually charge the ball by doing that. But in this game, it's more of like an advanced movement option, which if you could get it right and you're running the wall, and you don't screw it up like that, the speed that you run without the ball is faster than with the ball. So for certain characters like Peach, it makes sense sometimes to just do this as like a one-time thing. Just whoop. Because it allows you to move a little bit faster, assuming you're not trying to do a noob option. The main note in the entire game is that there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of different situations for different options. But we are not at the stage in the maturity cycle for people to actually use those options in a competitive match. So that's something I'm looking forward to seeing in the future. Alright, let me take a breather again. Let me take a breather and we will move on to some more naughty stuff. So enough tech, a little bit more thought. Alrighty. There's actually a few more pieces of tech, but I'm not gonna get to that in the realm of this stream, which we'll talk about like L chips. L chips are weird. We might talk a little bit about L chips. We'll see. So far, does everything make sense? Am I leaving anyone behind? Is everyone able to follow? Is there any questions about the more movement-based stuff? Game has been barely out, and the tech is pretty insane. Very interesting stuff. Yes, sir. The game is fascinating. The game is fascinating. It's the movement that's really like the main selling point for me, because there's certain elements when you do a shuttle or you do an empty just an empty turnaround like that without properly like snapping the control stick back and forth. So you could empty turnaround, by the way, like that. So you basically just wait until the control stick turns neutral. How do you do an empty shuttle again? So you're gonna do a shuttle like that. Oh, I screwed it up. Let me see if I can do the shuttle like that. Except that you're gonna release the control stick as soon as you do so. It's a very snapping motion like that. Anything about sprint? I feel like the sprint is pretty much self-explanatory. Well, I guess another option you could do is like that. I mean, sprinting is primarily used in defense, not on offense. I feel like offense, it's a lot less practical, I should rather say. A lot less practical. Yeah. The empty shuttles, you first need to learn how to do a shuttle. A shuttle is the most important part. Yeah, like, I didn't even touch the control stick. I'm not touching the control stick right. It's just kind of doing it on its own because my control has snapback. So I could snap back into it. If you dash into a teammate, will it give them the ball? Yes. Yes, it will. So if I dash into Mario here, it will automatically transfer the ball over. I'm going to try to do stuff on the top, which I'm not quite comfortable doing. Yeah. So this is another, like, movement management kind of thing. Like, if you're playing Phil, or you're playing one-on-one, one thing you could do is you could actually do an oop option, which gives your opponent teammate the ball, and use their dash to get them out of the situation. Right? So basically cancels the oop timing, so you don't have to wait for the tackle to... I don't know, how else would I say that? Could you dash into a team tackle? Yes, that is the thing you could do. It's very difficult. It's not easy to do because you need to get... I guess short shuttling would actually make that a whole heck of a lot easier. Will this video be on your channel when you stop live streaming? So people who missed the streams can still check it out. I might leave it up if you guys are interested. Oop into team tackle, yep. Yeah, and it's not easy. You gotta get the spacing just right. Yep. That way you have enough time to do a tackle. Come on. Yeah, I'm like pressing it down, but it takes a while for it to come out. There you go. Oh, frick. Come on. Bro, this is so hard. Okay, I'm pressing it too early right now. Man, okay, I need to practice this. I don't know how practical it would be. Blackbeard was trying to explain this to me the other day. Not the other day, but like a week ago. There is a way, if you could keep the ball short by doing a short shuttle. Man, why is this so hard? Bro, okay. You're gonna have to take my word for it. I'm really bad right now, apparently. But there is a way you could tackle, you could give the ball to someone and then tackle them to give them the ball. It's... I don't know how practical it is. Yeah, you gotta get that timing just right. So when they receive the ball, you release the tackle. Will the main things from the stream get their own videos? Yes, they will. Once I get around to making more of a, like, an individual kind of tips and trick kind of thing. Yeah. Maybe easier to a manual. Well, oh yeah, for sure. If you're playing with a teammate, it's gonna be much easier. The hard thing is when you're playing by yourself. Now, ideally, you're actually supposed to give them the ball. I don't know how I still hung on to the ball there. So that's something I guess you could do, like that. Right. An offense in one-on-one mode would be big, yes. It's gonna be hard. I also keep accidentally turning around. Oh, that was a really short shuttle. Oh my god. There you go. That took me way too long to do. And yes, that is something you could do with a short shuttle. Short shuttling allows you to do that because the ball travels shorter, but it also gives you way less time, so it's a lot more precise. I can't believe that took me that long to get. And I had to use Mario. I couldn't do it with Peach. Yeah, so there's definitely a skill cap in this game. Once people get good at it, and you could consistently pull off things like that, then you better believe that there's going to be, like, team tackling, boosting, and all that fun stuff. Yep. Bowser is going to be a total hockey puck and just blasting through, creating space. That's going to be fun to look forward to. Alright. Let me see if I can catch my breath, and we'll move on to another few technical stuff. Is anyone going to play 4v4? I don't think 4v4 is gonna be... It requires you to have a club, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, though. Maybe they'll allow it in the future. All the messages before mine were asking the same thing. So, no, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. That's one of the disadvantages about Twitch and YouTube streaming as a whole. There's a delay. So don't feel bad if you're asking the same question. Just keep in mind, like, don't be annoying, obviously. Yeah, don't be annoying, and you'll be good to go. Alright. Let me catch my breath. Like, I'm beginning to feel a little bit of blood in the back of my throat, which is what happens when I talk too much for too long. And I'm just gonna let it easy. Go, like, chill out a bit. Gonna put on some music. I'm gonna take a quick breather. Alrighty. 4v4 is only work offline, or if you have friends over your place. Yeah, true. Take care of yourself, man. Take a break real quick. Yeah. Sometimes, like, when I do a voiceover, I tend to slow down. It's really weird. Let me see if I could gather my thoughts to say this properly. Most people, well, at least most content creators that I'm aware of, and I might be exposing some people. This is not this is not an exposed stream. I'm not exposing anyone. But most people, they hype themselves up for YouTube. Like, yo, what's up, man? Welcome back to my video. And all of that fun stuff. And they hype themselves up for the video. And then when you actually, like, talk to them, they're like nice and chill. They're good people, don't get me wrong. But they're, like, nowhere near as energetic as they appear. At least most of the people I've met, they're not as energetic in person as they are on video. And I feel like for me, it's kind of the opposite. My streams, I always put more energy. Like, I'm always more energetic in streams than I am for YouTube videos. My YouTube videos, I'd like, hey, internet, or speaking. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about OOP options and and how many different variants of there and how to link different OOP options together. I've always been more passive of a talker on YouTube compared to live streaming. I don't know why. I like put a damper on myself. It's weird. Most people, I'm backward, okay? I'm really backward. Just tested max passing stat Toad in combination with max shooting stat Rosa. Kind of fun. Probably not that good against strong bots, but might be okay online. It might be. I have not used a high passing character yet. That's something I need to do eventually. But as of right now, I don't know. The passing stat seems pretty garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Only a few people actually utilize the passing stat, and even still, it's like half the time you're supposed to be backsliding. You're supposed to be doing advanced techniques anyway, right? You're supposed to be passing to someone who's open. You're not supposed to just be passing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the passing stat is not good. In the previous games, it was good. In this game, it's alright. Showing energy gives views. I can be wrong. Not always. It's more about the that's a bit of like a philosophical thing to think about. It's not the energy. It's not being loud. It's not being obnoxious. It's not, like, putting as much energy in front of the camera as you can. It's about the quality. People like good content. If your channel works with you being slow and methodical and vibey, I don't know how else to say it, like chill and relaxed, then all of a sudden trying to be, like, super energetic might not be good for you. And some people who built a brand about being super energetic, when they, like, slow down and they're chatting like normal people, they're like, whoa, something happened? Did your mom die? Did your, like, cat die? Did someone get cancer? Like what happened? Dude Droplets, hello, hi. How's it going, man? Troy has a lot of energy when making his videos. Yeah. Sometimes, like, I noticed after a while I begin to slow my words, which is not good. Yeah, Troy has a lot of energy. Troy is one of the few people that I think he's about the same on and off the camera. Like, you could tell, like, he enjoys talking to people. And he also enjoys making videos. So, like, every time I've met him, he's been about the same energy. Like, consistently good energy throughout the time. But having one character with at least 14 or 15 passing stat is pretty good. It could be, yeah. It depends what you're trying to do. Definitely depends on what you're trying to do. Alright. Let me see if I got my head back in the right spot. Because I think we can move on to the next topic. Unless, of course, you guys have any more questions or you guys have anything that you want to say. Don't be afraid to say anything. You don't be afraid to, like, say something stupid, okay? That's one thing, like, I'm trying to, like, refine and redevelop in my community. I'm trying to make it so you are allowed to be a little bit more open-minded. You are allowed to be, obviously, be respectful. Don't, like, flame other people. But, like, if you have an idea, don't be afraid to say it. Like, and if it's a stupid idea, that's fine. Everyone makes stupid ideas. You shouldn't be punished for making stupid ideas. You should not be punished for not being perfect, alright? I know we do a lot of coaching and we do a lot of teaching here, but, you know, that's the whole point. You're improving. You can't be perfect all the time. You try to. That's definitely the objective, but you can't always be perfect. Margarita. You want a margarita? I'm afraid this is not a bar, good sir. I don't even know how to make a margarita. But the strike whip sound effect is a bit annoying. Yeah, this is just like the best way to practice. Because the CPUs don't move. Like, I did try practicing by having like another like a controller controlling the second player team and whatnot. Their CPUs will still run up against you. Is a speedy Rosalina effective? It could be. It definitely could be. I don't know. There's too many questions about, like, character builds that I just don't know. Because I haven't experimented. I'm saving it for the videos that I'm planning to make for every character build. And once I complete that, that's when I'll know, right? Because I'm still learning the game just like everyone else here. It just happens to be that I have a little bit more experience in the other games at a competitive level, so I could transfer that, like, competitive learning adaptability skill into this game. So I learn a lot faster in a competitive way. But that doesn't mean I know everything. Definitely not. Alrighty. Let's get started to the next topic. We should be able to cover the next topic right about now. Let's talk a little bit about conforms and pressure points. I know this was something that a lot of people were actually really, like, bummed out about. Oh, you got another question. Hold up. Well, we always prioritize the questions. Always prioritize the chat. Which one would you choose, auto or manual? It depends completely on what you're doing. If you're playing by yourself, you should always be using automatic. If you are playing with a team, only one of you guys should be using automatic. The other should be using manual, and the other player should be playing a single character. Whoever goes manual, you are admitting to playing a single character. Alright? And by the way, don't think of automatic and manual like Mario Kart, for instance, where, like, you're a noob if you use automatic. No, automatic and manual in this game are two very different things. You use automatic for a specific reason, you use manual for a specific reason. Automatic is just as good as manual, if not better. It completely depends on what you're trying to do, yes. So, generally speaking, you will be going automatic unless for a very specific reason, which you'll be going manual. Manual should be midfielder. Manual is whoever is playing the single player character. Yeah. Whoever is playing the one character that does not switch characters, you play just that one character, and you don't switch to anyone else. You should be playing manual. Yep, for sure. Manual is funky to me. Yeah, don't use manual. You should get used to how to switch characters. That's fine. But you don't have to use manual. No. This is not Mario Kart. You don't have to be pro by using manual. That's not pro. That's just being stupid. It's making it harder for yourself. Why would you do that? Alright. Yeah, automatic is like how all the older games did. To give you an example. Automatic is like all the previous games. Manual is the new thing. So yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's see if we could get to the next topic. We're gonna talk a little bit about. Okay, so this will be interesting. We're gonna move from movement. So the first topic that we covered was movement. Let's talk a little bit about techniques. So one of the major changes inside of Mario Strikers Charged to Mario Strikers Battle League. Exactly, Dragon. Yes. Sometimes I forget to switch and run around on the opposite side of the field. I feel that. Yeah, sometimes I get that too. Yeah. No, I tried running manual for my first session. I hated it. It was so bad. Alright. So, MSC, SMS, and SMBL, I believe are the abbreviations. So inside of Mario Strikers Charged, there was a big movement, like gameplay mechanic, which required you to constantly keep the ball charged. That's why it was called Mario Strikers Charged, because you would always charge the ball by, charging the ball and then passing, or just passing the ball, right? And this game doesn't have that. There is no charge of the ball. But they did something very, very interesting, which is the form of perfect tech. So this is actually an idea almost expounded upon based off of the original SMS. So in SMS, the original, if you passed on the baseline, so if I passed to Bowser while being on the baseline, which is Ruby with the is that 5 pounds? Dude, much love, much love. Is the alert working? Please tell me the alert worked. Hey, why did the text break? What the heck in the world? What? Wait, why did the text break? What the fudge? Wait, whoa. Dude, first things first. Thank you for the 5 pounds. You are amazing. I believe you're like my first super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Also, hey, how are you? Well, how's it going? I'm really enjoying your new content, and I'd love to see you give advice on some other games you play as well. Is it euros, not pounds? Okay, got it. I need to learn to get, like on Twitch, everything is either bits or, what is it freaking called? Subs, right? Bits and subs. So now I need to learn to read all the symbols, like, on the fly. Yeah, that is euros, now that I'm looking at it. Also, why did the alert, like, break? Oh, let me fix that real quick. Like, the text was so unreadable. Oh, I like how it converts it to me for dollars. That's crazy. Thank you for another dollar, man. Let me get it right this time. 99... Is it 0.99 euros? What is the smaller denominator? I am so ill-cultured when it comes to that kind of currency. Why text no work? I'm trying to figure that out myself, actually. Why is that not working? Hold up. I just set all this up, by the way, so I'm going to run it a few times just to make sure that I could get it to work. Hold up. Can I rerun this? Why does it look like that? Hold up. This is actually kind of important. I don't want you guys... Hold up. You get a free run, another rerun, because that is not supposed to look like that. Okay, let me do a test real quick. I'm gonna run a super chat test. Why the heck? What the fudge? Oh, do I not have... I might not have the font. That might be the reason. Hold up. I might not have the font. And if I don't have the font, that would explain why it's breaking. So let me fix that. Let me test something real quick. There you go. Okay, so that should fix it. Right? There you go. Okay, cool. Is it 99 cents? Okay, cool. My head's all over the place right now. I'm trying to fix this. So let's just rewind. Let's pretend none of that happened. And now, this is the real one, by the way. There you go. How's you? I really enjoy your new content, and I'd love to see you give advice on other games you play as well. Well, Ruby, the games I play right now are actually quite small. Like, I don't play that many games because I'm not sure how many of you guys might get this sentiment, but when I was a little kid, I used to love playing a lot of games. And as I got older, I began to realize that I just don't have as much time to play games. Like, I know that my entire job is on playing games. Like, that's what I do for a living. But at the same time, like, man, I just, like, when I stop making YouTube, like, when at the end of the day, when I finish the edit, when I finish the recording, the last thing I want to do is play a video game, believe it or not. Because that's all I've been doing. That's my entire job. Getting footage, getting things, you know, like playing the game, grinding. That's what I do for a living. So when I get off for the day, I normally don't play that many games. I normally watch anime with my girlfriend. Yeah. That's how I'd much rather have someone else play the game, you know? Like watch an anime, watch a movie, watch a musical, something like that. Yeah. Black text on black background. Yeah, the text broke. It's not supposed to look like that. But yeah, if you are interested in another game that I play Val. So the 3 games that I've played was Mario Kart Wii, obviously. I played Melee way long ago. That was a long time ago. I played Mario Kart Wii. I played Val, Valorant. And now I'm playing MSBL. So the only other game that I play is Val. So if you guys are interested, like I tried doing Val content a long time ago, but it never really took off. Like you guys were just very clearly not interested in like watching me play Val. So I was like, yeah, I'll kick that to the curb and I'll wait until something else comes out, you know? And then this came out, Battle League, and it has a lot of depth. It's amazing. Girlfriend, a friend that's a girl. Okay, let's not get any weird ideas. I do spend a lot of time with her. Hopefully she's not here, because if she is here, I can't say much more than that. We'll see, you know? Euro is European currency. I reckon it's about $1.30. Yeah, it's like converting it for me, which is really cool. That's awesome. Alrighty. So, now that we've gotten all that done, we fixed the alert. Very nice, very nice. Let us see. Where was I? What was I talking about before? Oh, yes! Techniques. Let's talk about techniques. Let's get back to chatting about... Angie, are you in chat? I'm not even sure if she's in chat anymore. Is your girlfriend named Girlfriend? Clearly, obviously. Isn't everyone's? Alright. Let's talk about techniques. So, one of the biggest criticisms that I saw from, like, casual competitive people is the fact that the game is lacking in, like, advanced tech and advanced, like, cool garbage and cool conforms and stuff and whatnot. And that's just not true. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna shout him out because I don't want to diss him or anything, but, like, bud, love you to death. But you're just, like, you're just wrong about the conforms. There are conforms in this game. There's a lot of tech in this game. And it's not just, like, tech that's cool. It's actually, like, useful tech, which we'll get to once we get to positioning and strategizing. So, let me first run down a few of the basic conforms in this game. Most of them are actually called setup. There's actually only 2 conforms, if I remember correctly. Everything else is a setup. Alright. So let's first talk about the single-player conforms. There are 2. There is the Titan's Arc, which is done by shooting at the 44-yard line, which is this line right here. You're going to go in between to the 20-yard line, which is this one right here. By the way, this line is also called the 18-yard line. There's like measurements. So it's 18 by 44, and I think the other one, the smaller one, is 6 by 18? 6 by 18 or 6 by 12? Something like that. 6 by 12 yards. Is there any place in the Euro zone that puts the Euro symbol before the number? It's maybe right next year. Interesting. I don't know. You're gonna have to ask chat about that one. I live in the States, so I use the S with the line through it. I use the dollar sign. Alright. So the first conform, and by the way, I may not get this. I'm really, really bad at doing these conforms. What you're going to do is you're going to start off of the 44-yard line. You're going to run down in between of the 44-yard line and the 22-yard line, which is right here. You're going to chip like that, okay? What does a conform mean? A conform is a setup that goes in every single time, assuming you don't screw it up. So I'm going to try not to screw it up, but there's a good chance I do. Because there's a few variables, depending on like when you release it, and depending on how much you angle the ball. So what you're going to do is you're going to chip the ball just like that, right? And instead of just chipping it straight at the wall, you're actually going to chip it up. So that was too much. Notice how Boom Boom, like, came up? S-line with the money, exactly. So if you chip it too much, Boom Boom will just kind of, like, swat it away like that. Ruby, dude! What the fudge? Dude, you are such... What? Dude, you are too generous. What the heck? Get yourself a coffee and cookie from Starbucks after streaming. The outside simulation is just as fun as the gaming simulation, dude. Thank you for the £5. Why do I keep saying pounds? Thank you for the €5, dude. You are a legend. Thank you. Wow. That is really, really generous of you. I actually do really, like, seriously appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Dude, I don't know what to say after that. Like, I don't stream on YouTube much. I'm normally a Twitch guy, and I did hear a lot of nice... Like, obviously, YouTube is way bigger. So a lot of people tend to get lost in the void, but I think a lot of people forget that there's a lot of nice people on YouTube as well. Like, dude, you are a legend. What the heck? You didn't have to do that. Bruh. You know what? Just for you, I might just go jump in the car and get something from Starbucks. And get like... I'm not really a coffee person, but I could get myself a cookie. Appreciate that, man. Alright. Let's see if I could go back to the Conforms. So this is called the Titans arc, right? So you start between the 44-yard line, 22-yard, you chip it up, straight at it. But instead of chipping straight at it, you're going to angle it slightly up. Like that. And notice how Boom Boom kind of came out to grab that ball? So I kind of screwed it up, because he's supposed to come out way earlier. So that was incorrect. Come on. I tried it with Peach. Starbucks vlog. Nope. I could get him to come out. Come on. I think I'm doing it too late. It's not like perfectly in between the 20-yard and 30-yard line. Now I'm struggling right now. I don't know why this is so difficult. Gross. Ruby, stop. Stop, dude! I don't know what to say! Thank you for the... income acquired. Dude, you just paid for this entire live stream. You honestly just did. You single-handedly paid for this entire live stream. It made it all worth it. Like, monetarily. Made it worth it. Dude, you're a legend. Appreciate that. I think most people write their symbols with the dollar and then... Yeah. I think that's how I do it. That's how most people do it. Is that Tanner? Crazy. Honestly, right now, I'm just kind of doping around. I'm trying to get him to, like, move properly, and he's just not. I don't know why. That was close. Glad to hear that you're happy. Dude, you will not believe, like... I'm sure you know this, but being a small... Like, I'm not technically small, but I've been doing this for, like, 3 years, and I make, like, $100 a month. So, like, $10 like that. It doesn't seem like much, but it means a lot to me. Because it makes it so, like... You know, I put, like, so much time into this. And it's really awesome to see that, like, people are interested. And people are, like, willing to help out. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I wish there's more words in the vocabulary to, like, express that, but I just don't know what to say. I'm just going back to trying to show you guys what this entire thing was about in the first place. There you go. Okay, so I'm kind of getting it. So, like, he's actually supposed to come back and wait. There you go. No, basically, you're just trying to make it... Prevent Boom Boom from, like, jumping up and catching the ball. Yep. Alright. I actually think they may have, like... It almost feels like they patched out. Like, this should not be this difficult. It's possible I'm just bad right now. Or I might not be getting the slant right. Like, that. Like, this is a confirm... But there's a lot of variables that could go into play. So depending on how much you slant and where you start are two big variables. Peach needs to get back up. I return. Welcome back, Wada. Appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't know. I'm actually struggling with this right now. Did they actually patch this? There's no way they day one patched this out. Because if they did, that's hilarious. Yeah, they may have patched out. I legitimately think they may have patched this out. This is not supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be like one of the easiest tricks to do. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. That throws a monkey wrench inside of my entire plans. Walltech, this is... Okay, so basically the Titans chip, which is what I'm doing, a Titans arc. It's supposed to be, like, really easy. And now it's, like, stupid hard, so I don't know what the heck happened. I wonder if the Joker self-pass still worked then, too. Yeah, they like day one patched it, but I'm just like unaware of. That is fascinating. Oh no, there you go. Okay, I got it. What was different? You saw how Boom Boom like walked out to like rebound the ball. No, I'm just bad then. Is he not supposed? No, he's supposed to do exactly what he did before. There you go. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting him to move. He's supposed to move a lot more than that, but I'll take that right now. Because I'm kind of bad. Man, I am so out of practice. I need to practice this more often. This is supposed to be like a really consistent trick. Okay, I'm getting him to move. I just need to get all the other angles. Yeah, like I said, there's a few variables to make him move in a specific way. I forgot those variables. Like, day one, I grinded the heck out of this. There you go. Got it. Okay, that. See how, like, far back he moves? So he just completely lets you walk right in front of him. I think it also has something to do with the fact I've been playing a lot of Peach recently, and I used to practice this tech with Mario, so the angle of, like, where you... Okay, now I'm getting it. Yeah. Now I'm getting it. Okay. Actually patches there. No, I don't... No, it's just me being bad. Don't mind me, I'm just being bad. So you have to start it way earlier with Peach, which means that the angle that you get is actually way more precise. Yeah. Yeah, I did do something to my mic, Milan. I boosted the bass a little bit, and I boosted the tin, the EQ curve, because when I was doing some editing on some of my streams, it was really hard for me to get the and the sounds to distinguish from each other. So it's every time I said oi, it sounded like I said the word like W. So instead of saying rebound, it sounded like rebound. Like every time I would do the voiceover, and like for the longest time I thought I had like a really strong lisp, and I realized it was just my microphone. So that's, you know, this microphone boosts the bass quite a bit, so you need to tune it up to make it a little bit more accurate. Yeah. So once again, it's harder with Peach because she's way more precise. Yeah, you need to get that angle like perfect almost, but it is doable if you, as long as you could get Boom Boom to move a specific way. Yeah, there you go. I need to practice that. There was a time when I like spent hours just practicing this. This is something I used to do just to make sure that you could get it. Like that. Okay. Yeah, it's not supposed to be hard. I don't know why it was so difficult. The hardest part definitely is getting that slight tilt. You gotta get the tilt just right. Too much tilt and that happens. Too little tilt and Boom Boom just swats the ball away. You gotta get that perfect angle. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's the first setup. Yeah, there's no freak. If I can't do it at the bottom, there's no way I can do it at the top. Yeah. So this is called the Titan's Arc. It is a variation of the Titan's chip, which I am really bad at, but, you know, at least I was able to demonstrate it, which I'm glad. The next trick is what's known as the Joker Self-Pass, or a Self-Pass variation. So in the previous game, you could do a Self-Pass with specific characters, which is basically you do an L-chip. That is not an L-chip. So you do an L-chip, like that, right? And you could basically, like, while it's still in the air, kick it again. So you could kick the ball up and kick it again. It was, like, really, really cool. The only way to do that now is with the wall. Like that. So that's the Joker Self-Pass. That is a confirm if you could get Boom Boom to stick out his chest. It's a little bit different, like, technique-wise, because you need to make sure that A, Boom Boom is in the right spot, and B, Boom Boom sticks out his chest, and C, you can't kick the ball immediately. You have to wait until Boom Boom gets ready to receive it, and then you kick the ball. So you don't... This is one of those tricks you don't mash. Yeah, you don't mash the shoot button. You have to wait a little bit until the ball comes back down. Are there any confirms that are exclusive for high-speed characters, or is it possible to do any of them with any character if you're good enough? You could do any of them with any character, because confirms are more reliant on Boom Boom's AI, and Boom Boom has certain AI that reacts to certain things in certain ways by hitting certain spots with the ball. So all you need to do with a heavy character is you might have to learn to do a slightly different variation or a slightly different setup, but the setup itself should be doable with every character. Oh, I screwed that up. Yeah, I screwed that up. You're not supposed to angle it that much. So there's some finesse to making sure that this works. You gotta get on the right spot. And you also gotta, like, he's not just sticking his chest out, so I'm not getting the right angle either. I need to practice this a bit. There's a right angle that you get to make Boom Boom move a very predictable way. But yeah, that is the Joker self-pass. You self-pass to the teammate. Oh yeah, you could do this. Oop. Right? That's not hard to do. If you have like 2 people, then you could do it. Yeah. Alright, so those are the 2 conforms that you could do with a single character. Have you tried these in online matches? Yes, I have actually. And they're surprisingly practical. Surprisingly practical. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, or the next thing I want to show you, is the serve it up assist. This is a 2-person... It's not a conform. We're moving out of conform territory. It's just a setup. It's named after Joker, right? Yeah, he was the one who came up with it. He was the one who labbed it. I labbed the Titan's Arc, and he labbed the serve it up. Or the self-pass. He labbed his self-pass. Very fascinating how that works out. So, this is a 2-people conform. It's kind of like a tack shot, if any of you guys were there at the beginning of the stream. Except that you bounce it against the wall. So this is critical that you get the right angle. You got to get the perfect angle. You start here, and you're going to be aiming for the penalty arc right here. Right at this spot right here. And you need to make sure that you get a perfect, or else Boom Boom has a much higher percentage of a chance of just grabbing the ball. Like that. So you need to make sure that you get a perfect angle. So that means my starting angle is a bit too shallow. Oh wow, he's jumping for that. What the heck? I've never seen him jump for it this many times. That is crazy. Gonna go a little bit more shallow. There you go. Okay. Self-passes with Toad, but they aren't that consistent. Then again, maybe I'm just... Nah. Practice. This game is not easy. There's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of variables that go into a single trick. So you need to make sure that you get it perfect. Yeah, Boom Boom got hot. Yeah, he's crazy. He's nuts. Yeah, why is he going for that? I think I'm actually starting too wide. I cannot believe that. But I think I'm starting too wide. Let me start a little bit wider. Here. And also, you could just pass it. You don't have to bounce it against the wall. The wall is for style points. You also got to get the second one. The second one helps getting it like a power shot. Yeah. This is just a variation to get the ball up into the right spot. And we'll get to pressure points in a second, but it'll help explain why this specific setup works the way it does. And why it's also not 100%. Because there's a few variables that go into it. But it's a good thing to know, because there's not much you could do when you're stuck in the corner. So the best thing to do half the time is just do that. Like that. That's one of the best options that you have. So it's very important to be comfortable with that. Also, you could just pass it. Yeah, as long as no one's in the path. The reason why we bounce it against the wall is because normally there's someone there. What you could do as well is you could do a flat shot. Like a flat L shot. Like that. There's that as well. In my opinion, I think flat L shots like this are underrated. Do you think that the game is RNG because of Boom Boom? I'm hearing a lot of people saying about this. I mean, yeah, it is RNG, but at the same time, that's one of the greatest things that, like, the old game was RNG based as well. The old game is actually more RNG based than this. This is by far, like, the most consistent skill-based shooting. Like, not including conforms. It is really, really consistent for the style of the game that it is. Yeah, there's like a few variations. You could do flat shots, you could do flat passes, you could do straight passes. It is so good. You could actually do an oop option out of this. So if you do a shuttle, an empty shuttle. That's the wrong button to rip. Hold on, let me see if I can get this. I keep automatically, like, tackling for no good reason. I need a pass, not tackle. Yep. So you can move an oop option into a setup. So that's one option that you could do. Another 2-people setup is I mean, it is a variation of the Belgium. It is weird, and in my opinion, it's actually more consistent. But it's also much harder to get away with. I don't know how else to describe that. Been glad that all this time by a pure heart. What? Got a lot of goals by doing that. Glad to see that people actually thought about that. Yeah. Anytime that you incorporate a tack shot along with a pressure point, the probability of the ball going in is through the roof. It doesn't matter what character you use. Yeah. It really does not matter. Like, attack shot plus pressure point, and then you add like a Bowser on top of it, like a power character. It's, yeah. It's almost 100% at that point. So anyway, one thing that a lot of people were trying to do is they were trying to do a Belgium, which is kind of done like that, and then you pass to Mario and do it. But it's not super practical. It's really hard to do. And then what I realized is you could actually do a Belgium with a flat shot. As long as Boom Boom doesn't run out like that. Because a flat shot actually moves slower when it rolls like that. Right? And then you could kind of like bounce the ball against the wall. That's the wrong character! Why did it pass to Bowser? What are pressure points? There's specific spots that you'd always want to shoot from. There's specific spots that you always want to shoot from. By the way, you could also do this is more of like a style thing as well, but you could also use this to move it into the same spot. So one thing that I love doing is it's kind of like Boom Boom manipulation. So generally speaking, when you are in this situation, and we'll get to pressure points in a second, so just hang on with me right now. Generally speaking, when you're in this specific position at the bottom, you want to hold down and curve the ball down underneath Boom Boom, like that. That's generally what you want to do half the time. But if you are in a situation where Boom Boom is already at the bottom, and the probability there's like too many people around you, what you could do is you could do a flat shot into a curve around on the opposite side, which looks like this. Oop, that is the wrong one, frick. Hold on, I need to get that timing down. Oh, I'm shooting against the wrong wall, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to do it against this wall, you're supposed to do it against this wall. There's a lot of, like, anytime you're invoking, like, a tack shot, even when you're doing it by yourself. So by moving the ball down like this, you move Boom Boom in a specific position. So generally speaking here, you would be shooting down. But there are some times when Boom Boom is, like, over here because of the way that he moves. So it makes sense to bring your character back down. Not that much. Hold on. There's specific situations where you want to shoot to the left of Bowser in this. Not Bowser, but Boom Boom. There's reasons why you would want to shoot to the left instead of the right. Yeah. Alright, let's get to pressure points, because I think that's going to be really important for you to understand. So pressure points. Pressure points are these areas where Boom Boom has like a really low % chance of getting the ball, which is right there. It's right above, right next to the penalty arc, right above the 44-yard line. It is right here. In this spot right here. You don't want to be too far out. You don't want to be too far in. It's right here. This spot right here. This is the pressure point where Peach has low shooting, so I might need to try a few times. Where the odd of the ball, the chances of the ball going in is stupid high, because that's just where Boom Boom's blind spot is. It's a pressure point. So there's that. And this pressure point kind of extends all the way down in a straight line like that. Now, the more power and the more technique and all, there's a few variables to consider. So like Peach, she has high technique, which is why, despite the fact she has low shooting, she could shoot from here. I did not mean to do a Hyper Strike. By the way, fun fact, if you don't actually want to do the Hyper Strike, you just let it fly. It won't count toward a Hyper Strike. So if you're doing this specific tutorial, just don't charge it. It's also really weak, so he should block that. Block it, please. Thank you. Don't feel like watching. Right. So you notice it didn't count toward it. So anyway, with Peach, because she has such a high technique stat, she could shoot from the bottom corner. Like that. Because you could see how the ball, like, arcs almost. Fun fact, by the way. If you are trying to curve the ball on these specific shots, and you are intentionally trying to get a curve, do not hold 45 degrees in the corner. So I'm going to show you. You do not want to hold 40... Oh, God, I can't show you this. You do not want to hold 45. You want to hold a little bit up. You want to aim kind of like... Okay. So if this is a circle, right? And this is 90 degrees, right? You don't want to hold 45. You want to hold slightly above, like 60 degrees, in order to get the most arc out of the character. That's how you get that insane amount of arc. Because if you hold 45, it's kind of like DI, if any of you guys have played Smash. Except that's... Okay, that's a bad example, because Smash you do actually hold 45. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but you aim more toward the farther away curve than an exact 45. Because a 45 will make it curve smoothly, but if you hold up, it kind of like influences and makes it come back down. So you could change the curve a little bit. Like that. you could exaggerate the curve. Just a little pro tip for you there. Alright. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more about pressure points. Because pressure points, this is why I'm always shooting from like over here. And because of what I told you about, DI is more move based. I haven't played melee in a long time, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a bad example. I should, like, I can't, I don't know how to describe it or what to compare it against. But do not hold 45. Hold like 60, like 50, 60. You don't want to hold perfectly 45. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about pressure points right now. So, I already told you about the pressure point. You want to shoot from here. Peach actually has high technique, so you could, as long as you don't charge the ball up completely, you could play and you could shoot from a mid-court, but most ideally, you want to shoot a mid-court character like Mario. Not Mario. Bowser. Bowser's a good mid-court character. Because he does not have much technique, he actually can't curve this ball that well. Right? He knocks him out, right? But Boom Boom still technically blocks the shot. So for a character like Bowser, remember what I told about you guys about tack shots, right? You want to shoot with Bowser from the half court. Because of his speed and power, he's close enough to the goal. He's not like super close. But then again, getting Bowser really close is really difficult to do. So, you oftentimes... My bad. Shoot down the pressure point lines. And of course, you set up a tack shot as well. Hello, hi. Welcome to the stream, bud. I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce your name. Let me know if I get this incorrect. Maun Haluka? Maun Haluka? Is that correct? Can I call you Maun? Yeah, welcome, dude. Welcome, welcome. So for a character who has, like, very little technique, you have to set him up using a tack shot, which is what I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm using Mario to kind of pass the ball to Bowser instead of just having Bowser shoot the ball directly himself. Technically, Bowser could do a tack shot himself, but, I mean, all Bowser is really realistically going to do is knock Boom Boom over. He's not really going to do much else, because he just can't curve the ball. So, unless you have the opening, you have a much tighter tolerance using a high shooting character compared to a high technique character. Which is why a quick and dirty trick, if you guys want to beat a bunch of people online, I got a little trick for you guys. You could take a low shooting character, it really does not matter. But understanding the idea that you're trying to make Boom Boom move from one spot and then you go to the other shot and shoot it in goes a long way. So a very easy way to get goals in this game is to just simply run up the pressure point line and shoot. So I'm going to run up and I'm just going to hold up and shoot. You could do the same thing down. By the way, it's not always going to go in, especially with a character like Peach, but the chances of it going in are really high. And you could kind of like influence it the same way, so it might actually incentivize you to actually hold down and then move Boom Boom a bit. But I'm actually forgetting how to do this. I forget how to do this, actually. Hold up, I'm bad right now. There's a specific movement. You could just dummy the goalie, yeah. What am I supposed to do here? I forget. There's like a little corner movement. I'm like mad blanking right now. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know what you're supposed to do here. You're trying to make Boom Boom move up. There you go. There's like a little like rotation on the control stick that you could do to make Boom Boom like kind of roll around. I'm not sure how consistent it is, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually remember what I did. But there's a way to kind of like, you're trying to influence the goalie to move in a certain way. Also for the SOLs, I think... SOLs? S and giggles. I'm not... I want to show you another setup that I think you guys are going to really, really love. So first things first, let me do an image. There you go. Okay, so... This is technically a conform. This will always go in as long as you don't screw anything else up. I feel like I have to clarify that. There's a lot that could go wrong on the user's end. But as long as you don't mess it up on the player's, like the user's end, you could do a lot of weird stuff. So this is a setup which allows you to do a pass goal. As far as I'm aware, this is the only way to do it. So if you get a character at the bottom, you start at the penalty arc, so you start at a pressure point, and you have another character in basically on the goalie line, the goal box line, slightly above. You don't want him to be perfectly in the center, you want him to be slightly above. All you're gonna do now is you're gonna run up and pass the ball, and he's just gonna walk it in. It is very weird. I don't know why it works, but it does. There's just like that one weird blind spot where the character just does not grab the ball. Alright. It's so weird. You could, by the way, you could use this to self-goal if you really, really wanted to. Oh, I screwed that up. Running up the middle near the goal and aiming left and right is working a bit better for me at the moment. Yeah. Also, make sure that when you shoot, you want to hold the direction that you're going. Okay, let me see if I can do this correctly. There you go. People always get a kick out of that. They're like, what the fudge? I love doing that in front of like the new audience. Everyone's like so confused. They're like, what are you doing? Like, how did you do that? What? Ruby? Bro, stop. 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 You're making my brain hurt, dude. Oh, brother. 2 people. Oh, no. You got the wrong idea. Oh, no. I should clarify. First things first. Looks like you and the girl are going to Starbucks and getting a coffee and perhaps 2 cookies. Sounds like a plan to me. Did you go to college/university? And if gaming didn't work out, what would you like to pursue? That's a lot of questions, but deserved for the 20 euros. Okay, so first things first, I should probably clarify that the girl I'm interested in right now, she lives close to 3,000 miles away. We met through Val, and we've been talking to each other for about a year and a half. So, I'm not sure if I could bring her to Starbucks, per se. Yeah, about that. I might be able to ship her one, or like give her the money to buy one on her. Maybe, I don't know. By the way, did you go to college or university? I was supposed to go to university slash college back in 2020, like when COVID hit. But as many of you guys know what happened, I'm not gonna like go too into it on that. COVID hit, and I decided to pursue, you know, at least until the COVID thing died down. I know you could go to college now, don't get me wrong, but like I was like, you know what? I wanted to do this YouTube thing. I wanted to do content creation, right? And I'm like, content creation takes a long time to get started. So I would like to have like at least a decent paying income from my YouTube channel before I go to college, you know? So yeah, I am planning to go to college after like in about a year. I think that's the goal right now. We'll see how that goes. Like, honestly, I just keep pushing it back and forth, and I shouldn't do that. But I don't know. I just enjoy doing YouTube. Like, to me, this is what I would do anyway, you know? It's slow, but yeah. So yeah, I am planning to go to college. I am planning to major in philosophy, education, and potentially law, and then minor in music. And if gaming didn't work out, what would you like to pursue? I would be a professional athlete. And if I'm a little bit too late for that, because I will admit, being a professional athlete requires you to, you know, train. Especially, like, the younger the better. If you are young and you wanted to be a professional athlete, there's that. So after that, if I don't become a professional athlete, I wanted to be either a gaming coach, like an esports coach, or some kind of teacher. A teacher probably of like philosophy or like elementary. I think that could be interesting as well. I want to be a teacher, basically. Yeah. If I'm not a gamer, I want to be a coach gamer. And if I'm not a coach gamer, yeah, I'm going into teaching, education. I like learning about learning. That's what interests me, as you could probably tell. I major law, actually. There you go, dude. Let's go. Honestly, I'm majoring law because I'm Asian and my parents want me to major in, like, they want one of us to major in law, and my brother's like, hell no. And my older sister, she's majoring in accounting, so she's going into the business side. My sister, I think, is going into like psychiatric stuff and art. So, and my brother, from what I could tell, the last two is like medical and like law. And like, I'm not doing medical stuff, so I might as well learn a little bit of law, you know? I'd study philosophy if you were my teacher. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Just to clarify for shooting. By the way, Ruby, I hope that answers your question. Thank you for the 20 euros again. You're actually insane. Actually insane. Why, my man. Holy shit. Just wanted to clarify for shooting. If you hold back on the control stick, do you get more loft? And if you hold forwards toward the goal, does it stay lower? No, it's the curve of the ball. Like, one thing that's a fantastic question for you, by the way, because the way that this game works, the camera looks like you're like from one side and it's like tapering and going to a perspective. It's not. The camera is orthographic. It is an orthographic camera, so the perspective looks really weird when you shoot from the top. When you hold down, right, it curves the ball down. And when you hold up, it curves the ball up. And if you just don't hold anything, it shoots the ball straight. And the reason why it looks like it's flying up is because of that perspective thing. So when you shoot from the top, the ball looks like it flies in a straight line. It's not flying in a straight line. You are holding up. So it's curving down, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's a perspective thing, for sure. That is definitely a perspective thing. Yeah, it looks like it's going up, right? No, it's curving. It's just the camera. It's weird. If any of you guys know what an orthographic camera is compared to a perspective camera, that's effectively what's going on. Effectively. My parents really pushed the study, get smart, get money mentality. It could be really mentally damaging on a teenager, for sure. No, dude, yeah, that's not the move, man. Like, it's important, you gotta survive, but... Man. Especially, like, I got lucky because my parents, they were not super pushy. They wanted me to do certain things, obviously, but, like, I got really lucky. I got good parents, like, my parents were amazing. They did not push me to go, like, until I was ready. And I wasn't ready until I was, like... Now, I'd say. Still, I'm not completely ready. I'm 21, by the way. And, you know, if I had gone to college when I was 18, I would be a completely different person. Completely different person. Compared to who I am now. And I think that going online, learning social media, like actually getting my hands dirty in the field that I'm planning to go into, definitely paid off way more than going to college. At least as of right now. Like, I learned so much, and I know there are so many things I've done that I just never would have had the opportunity if I went to college. Having said that, though, I do need to go to college one of these days. I am studying for my entrance, whatever, those tests and whatnot, but yeah. Mine were questionable, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I see. Yeah, that's normally how life is. I feel like that's just a general life thing. It's like, sure, you may go through garbage. Bad things happen to you, you know? But it's like, would you ever go back and change anything? Probably not. That's how, at least the vibe I get from most people. Like, yeah, I wouldn't change anything, because then I wouldn't be the same person, you know? Like, yeah. You don't want to get rid of the good things because they were good things, and you don't want to get rid of the bad things because the bad things is what makes you who you are. So, yeah. Alright. Alrighty. Let's see. So, let's talk. I mean, honestly, I was planning to do kind of like an entire master's class, but how long have I been streaming? I've been streaming only for 2 hours? It feels like I've been streaming way longer than 2 hours. What the heck? Leo, I'm so proud of you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I wouldn't consider myself proud of myself, but, you know. It's all good. Alright, so we talked about... Oh, let's talk a little bit more about conforms. No, actually, I'm pretty sure I showed you, like, most of the conforms in the game. Like, another conform... Like, the 44 is technically a conform, just shooting from the pressure point. It's not a conform, but it's like a setup. Oh, wow. Boom Boom's on fire today. What is that, like a 60%? Something like that? Yeah. That's crazy. Alright. Oh my gosh. Dude, there's... Whoever said that, like, there's too much in this game. There's a lot of garbage in this game. I want to talk more about movement. I want to talk so much more about strats, techniques, ideologies, concepts. This game is complicated. This game is complicated. Let me talk about something that I think is super important. Let's talk about backsliding for a second. Inside of the previous games, there was this technique called backsliding. So basically, you tackle. Inside of the previous games, there are 2 separate tackle buttons. There is the tackle, like the body check when you smack someone, and then there is the slide. Alright, there's the slide, which basically, you know, slides underneath. It's the same effect that you get when you do a perfect tackle. So you slide and take the ball. Now, in this game, they are mapped to the same button. But in the older games, there was a big distinguishment, because when you body checked, you would automatically magnetize to the person. So when you swung the Wii remote, vigorously, you would body check the person. But if you press the slide tackle, it would magnetize to the ball. So you would go after the ball. And the reason that's so important is because this gave rise to something called backsliding. So basically, you would pass the ball to someone, and then they would slide back into the ball. And this basically cut down the amount of time that you spend, basically with the ball being lost. So someone is always in possession of the ball. In this game, obviously, you can't do that since they're the same button. You can't tackle back into the ball. But they opened up another opportunity because you could deke regardless of the position, which is something that the other games did not have. So in this game, backsliding is done a little bit differently. Can be done in a way. Yeah, well, yeah. I think you're a little ahead of me, Leo, right now. Go in the car, go to Starbucks, and order a frappuccino, cappuccino, latte. What? I can't even read that. I can't even read that. Oh my gosh. So, in this game, how you backslide is you simply tackle back into the ball, like that. It's a very screw that up. You gotta aim it. Unlike the previous games where you just kind of like automatically magnetize to the ball. Because if you don't aim it, things like that happen. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very good at backsliding because I feel like sometimes I don't magnetize, like I don't hold the right direction. So like I have a little bit of snapback in my control. I think I've already said this in a bit. And the snapback sometimes like screws with it. So half the time I don't backslide. But basically, this is all you're doing. You're shortening the time that you spend without with the ball being loose. Now, I don't think backsliding is that terribly important as compared to how it used to be in the other game. Like, inside of Mario Strikers Charged, SMS. No, not SMS, MSC. Backsliding was imperative because the ball and passing speed and, like, everyone was much smaller. It was important to make sure that someone had the ball. In this game, however, because you could perfect pass like that, you could also perfect pass to yourself, like by yourself. Right? That. Right? It's a lot less critical to be good at like backsliding, but it's still a useful technique to know how to do. Because, and of course, this game, the backsliding is a little bit more in the realm. You want to use it with thinking. You want to use it practically and apply it properly. You don't always just want to be mindlessly backsliding. Because if you backslide incorrectly, you could get tackled for it. Whereas sometimes it would be better to just let the ball come to you and then deke out of the way. Because it does use your deke when you backslide into it. Right? But it's still, again, it's a useful technique to know. It's a useful move to know how to do, especially if you're trying to pass the ball. Let's say no one's around you and you're just trying to pass the ball out. It could be a great way to just recapture the ball. Can be done in any way. Yes, so you could actually use it to create more space like that. So you could back up. Let the ball roll a little bit longer. Yeah. A lot of cool stuff you could do. So there's a lot more depth in the game. The main bottom line is this game is a lot deeper than either of the two games. The only thing that it lost from Mario Strikers Charged was the charge of the ball. And it made up for that in the form of like perfect passing. And the like timing, which I think honestly works way better, in my opinion. What do you think about Boom Boom compared to the critters? I think Boom Boom he works for the game. I would say that. He works for the game. He's definitely worse than the critters, but in this game, that's fine. Like, having pressure points and having spots to shoot for and aim for and defend. Like, we'll get to that in the strategy section, I suppose. But bottom line, I think Boom Boom works really well for the game. He's great. He works. And the fact that he's actually really bad kind of works in the realm of Mario Strikers Battle. Because he's so bad, like, it's really easy to get goals. It is incredibly easier to get goals. So this is not a game where you're gonna get like 2 goals per match. This is a game where you're both expected, if you're both good players, you are expected to get like 8, 9, maybe even 10 goals every round. That's expected. So games are won by good strategy and good defense. And Just all around, all of that, stuff. The problem I hate Arc is the way items work in the high rank players literally avoid scoring goals a lot of the time. Because if you do, your opponent can hyper strike for free. Yeah, it's a bit stupid. I think hyper strikes are definitely going to be turned off for competitive play. They just have to go. I think items are fine. But I do think that there are a few changes that I would like to see, personally. So basically, inside of this game, when you have a story and you use a hyper strike, as soon as the meter shows up, the hyper strike, like the story invincibility, goes away. I would like to see that just for normal shooting. So I would like to see the fact that you could use a story just for normal running around, but as soon as you kick the ball, the story invincibility disappears. That's something I would definitely change. And then, of course, I turn off the hyper strikes. And then, honestly, beyond that point, the items are pretty balanced. There's nothing really else to talk about. Like, the bomb is strong, but it's like, you could play around it. And if you know your opponent has, like, yeah, like, I'll be honest, I think the game is fun. Items, even the story is fine, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the stories are fine, personally. Yeah, and we're pretty bad in charge at the Conforms setup here now. Yep. It's like that in this game. Like I said, this is not charged. This is not SMS. This is Battle League. And in the realm, in the universe of Battle League, Boom Boom works incredibly well. Ridley, hello, hi. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I currently like hyper strikes because the meta is built around them. I mean, I'm down to play both, but competitively, I could see myself getting tilted over hyper strikes. I could definitely see that. You don't even need to get a perfect one, and sometimes it just goes in. It's not much you can do about that. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about that. I think that the game, from a competitive standpoint, it is way, like, I'm gonna be honest, you're talking about Nintendo here. We're dealing with Nintendo. This is the most competitive that a game has been in, like, years of Nintendo's release. Like, sure, there are definitely things that you could do to make the game improve, right? There are definitely things that can be changed. But with all due respect, this game is way better than it realistically ever should have been. It just is. They did a fantastic job with the mechanics of the game. I actually haven't played competitive 2v2 yet, so I guess I'll find out when I get there. But yeah. Honestly, I'm low-key thinking about calling the stream here. I wanted to get around to the strategy and, like, positioning, because that kind of, like, paints the entire picture. What can I do to help confirm my shots? Move down, try to align your characters to shoot down the pressure point lines. Hit spam, don't do that. I think I'm gonna call the stream here. I really need to use the bathroom. And I do not feel like pausing and then coming back for a small session. So I'm thinking I'm gonna call the stream here. And then for all of the strategy and techniques on, like, how to position, how to advance, how to defend, all of that, I think will need to be saved for another video. Because there's just, I'm gonna be honest, there's just way too much in this game to talk about. Way too much. I made the dream team: Rosa, Toad, Mario, Yoshi. Yeah, take out... I would replace Toad with Peach, because that's what I do. And I would take out Yoshi for DK. Or Waluigi. Or Toad. I have my Toad build. But that's not bad. Yeah, that's a pretty good Team Squid. Good night, miss you. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna call the stream here. Because I really need to use the bathroom, man. I just, like I said, I'm out of water. I need to use the bathroom. All that fun stuff. Why Peach Toad? Peach is a better character overall. Better hitbox, better movement, easier to use, better technique stat, better stats in general. But yeah, Peach is just better. She's just better. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for... Dude, seriously, champion of the stream right here. Oh my gosh, Ruby. Easily MVP right here. God damn. Funded my entire career, why don't you? And I'll see you guys all next time.